The national news calls it a government shutdown. I don't know if I don't know if you people even know what a government shutdown is. Welcome. Alex Answer here, coming to you from a place that'll be less affected by food riots, but still affected nonetheless on this date of January 20th, 2019. Welcome to my Bloody Moon download. Now let's dry up the tears. Okay, they gave the peasants the EBT early this year. Don't worry about February. Well, I'm wondering, is that a little bit of a here's some rain shoes? Get started. And oh, by the way, skip the candy this time. I can food. So as we kind of watch this, and maybe they'll work it out, but see, we've also become, let's talk about the real story behind the government shutdown. What would a real government shutdown look like, right? How could a real government shutdown take place and all of this funding take place for all of these foreign military bases? Look at all the people, by the way, that act like they're in support of Donald Trump that also use talking points of being critical of U.S. expansion, almost like seeing Russia's side of it, China's side of it. And I understand that point of view if someone's actually legitimately being like straight the whole way through and consistent with what they believe, and also being critical of overseas civilians being killed by drone attacks, right? Why act like you care when it's Obama? Why could care when it's Obama? Why not also care when Donald Trump is in office? So now we've seen hypocrisy on anabolic steroids, and you can't rationalize with a person that's roid raging. No offense to those of you that do. I understand none of us are perfect. Hey, to each his own. But people with a certain level of vision in that type of rage, they're not going to be able to see things as they are. Why would there be then, Alex? I don't understand, Alex. Why would there be a fake government shutdown uh, over a border issue that they can clearly fund that wall if that's what it's all about? Then they can clearly be executive orders to have in habeas corpus and have war upon war upon war upon war. Yeah, but they can't do the border security thing to keep everybody safe. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Republicans' fault. Donald Trump woke up on the bad side of the bed today. Things aren't going to work out. Oh, Nancy's trip was blocked. She's not going to be able to jerk off the troops in Afghanistan. Oh, poor baby, as they show in plain sight that it's a bipartisan conspiracy to occupy Afghanistan. People that did nothing to you. But people that have basically been reduced to subhuman level. So, hey, who's protesting on the left or the right with specific to that genocide? It's interesting. There's many people that think that they're spiritual amongst us. Indigo children, psychic, empaths. Empaths, you feel the things you want to feel, and you don't want to feel the other things because I don't understand how a society can feel on a larger level what's been done to them and how demonizing people as subhuman can come around to haunt them. Oh, I don't know, heaven forbid, there could be a meme with certain radicals within our own country that, oh, I don't know, think all white people are the devil. Wrongfully so. But where does that thinking come from? Where does that thinking stem from? And how do some people in our culture give those people all the propaganda and ammunition that they need to say, look, here's my case? So what we have here is years of manufactured divide and conquer over race. And they created also propaganda that would say, that snowflake SJW, don't call out the obvious, even if we were calling out the obvious years ago. Alex Jones himself, you will continue to be reminded about the old Alex Jones as long as you choose to stay in this classroom. Alex Jones would talk about how those people have been set up for a fall. And there's just a number of different things that I want to mention with regards to that. And so when you see that change so greatly and the focus, I'm bouncing around with different thoughts because also it's happening in Portland with Tiny Tootsie and Joey Gibson. Those guys are charismatic. And Tiny Tootsie, oh, here, WWF, hey, anti-fall, I am the Islander, I will not be defeated. I serve the right wing. Yeah, whatever, dude. You're fucking a lunatic. And it's crazy because that dude, that Samoan Islander, was basically saying, I used to beat up Trump supporters before I was turned to the other side. Dude, that's fucking totally fucking violent, out of control. Oh, now you're just beating up a different group now? Where you used to beat up Trump supporters, now they're your homies? Dude, you're not a political genius. You're not a political analyst. You're a bought and paid for thug. And so we have years and years of this thuggish, buggish bone. It's the thuggish, ruggish bone. They come in, wear the little snap gloves, and they complain when Anti-Flaw comes up with their 5.95 brass knuckles from the Asian World of Martial Arts magazine, piece of shit punks. And then you also get to see the real tribalism of Portland, Oregon, called racism and white supremacy, even by Joey Gibson and Penny Tutsi, as they find themselves judged by a sea of whiter faces than them. It's actually quite revealing. And it's best to be independent, not pick sides, and just see the illusions of separation just oozing out of our fellow countrymen and women that almost get hot. It's like they get hot reptilian style on the idea of people of certain bloodlines being removed off the planet forever. It's almost like an aphrodisiac. Like, oh yeah, they're gone by the millions. Ah, we are so safe here in this America. Oh, we are so superior. As you desecrate God's creation or be silent about others doing it, very superior, very beautiful. And then for some of us, as we became more and more conscious, we would become more aware why the body had types of programming within it that would see certain people as more beautiful, other people as more ugly. But deceptions are deceiving. But if you call out that deceptions are deceiving, you could be called a racist. Even if you're calling out others' illusions of separation and asking others to halt their racism against, oh, I don't know, whole white people. And why does that not earn one any points in this world? Bookmark that question, and we'll come back to that. Why? Stating each and every time that I don't agree with those people that are saying these hateful things, why that doesn't earn one any points with those stuck in the left-right paradigm, be they leftist urbanites in Portland or rural conservatives. Why would trying to warn them about China and human trafficking mean nothing to them? See, these questions and more, we may not have the answers to now in 2019, but without a doubt, future generations that will be looking at the teachings of Alex Ansary, because let's just be honest about what they are and how unique they are and how the things that I say are not being said by any other YouTubers. Just because we're on YouTube, hey, Alex, YouTube, me, YouTube too. Hey, I'm sorry, what? And what are you calling out? And who are you calling out? Or is this just some type of open sort of surveillance society where we watch each other dance and do like Asmar, talk in a real sexy voice into the microphone? Of course, hey, young girls need an occupation. Some things are better than straight up stripping at the nightclub. But, in this world of fallen illusions of separation, you have those. Let's get to the meat, Alex. We already finished our appetizers. We don't want your vegetables. Give us the meat. Give us the meat. Okay, it's not a real government shutdown. The whole thing's a joke. We're being held hostage and they're working together. The main entree is that there's massive government waste on the state level. Don't just think about the feds. Now, without telling you every little detail of my life story, including what I had for breakfast, let me just be bluntly honest with you. In a day in which, we've been getting naked with the truth. There's ways in which I've sought ways to just talk to someone about the things that stress me out to keep things away from you. Let's try to have a nice day, have a nice dinner, and just cover the news. China's going to invade us. Holy fuck, find a hole. Let's just keep my personal problems out of this. But sometimes I can't do that. I'm not going to hold back the truth and how much I hurt inside, knowing how accurate my warnings have been and how isolated from the species I was born into I am. I'm at whatever you like, Alex, bro. Love you from 3,000 miles away. Love you from Poland. Anna, back right at you. But notice, Anna, not a lot of girls like you, right? Very few, right? Even very few that even be in the comment section. It's mostly kind of like a guy thing, with my 80% male demo. It's a real sausage fest and a real lack of the divine, feminine, healing spirit, goddess energy. It would be so weird because so much of what I say I support is the feminine spirit that is actually suppressed by darker forces of this world. It's beyond blaming men. I could say that, you as a heterosexual male could be in a world in which your daddy beating you could have been the suppression of your divine feminine. Absolutely. Or your angry, thyroid-affected mother screaming at you, telling you you're nothing, just like your father. She stepped on your inner woman. As a heterosexual male, you have these components that are not meant to be divided. And so as a heterosexual, it's like a yin and a yang. And if your family fucked with you or tried to shoot holes in your heart, as my fathers and mothers did me, right? Then if it's been that extreme, you've had to pull yourself up in a literal sense by your bootstraps. You know what it's like to be left behind. You know how these things can be damaging, but if you've recovered from certain things, maybe even, and again, in my life story, there's times in which I fell, and it would be before my period of activism where the worst of it was. The year 1999 and 2000 were very troubling years for me. My first years on my own, without either my father or mother within the same state. The energies of the late 90s, 2000s, the solar maximum, the sun, it brought a lot of change to my life. And I knowingly chose to walk through elements of the dark side, but my world would be changed forever when I rose from the ashes. Oh my God, Alex is speaking Illuminati symbolism. What does it mean? Like, I mean, literally rising from the dead, get real. Like, lose a lot of the needless conspiracy jerk off shit that people learned in the 90s and 2000s. Now that I've been into this stuff for 15 years, there's clearly stuff that just leads people into superstition, orthodox religion, dogma. Oh, that's New Age, Luciferian. Those people don't think like us. They're with the newer. This is like crusty magazine, 1980s, 1990s, circa, and I'm not going to mention certain names of people that have passed, but there's like a lot of like old school stuff that had some truth in it, but old school American bigotry to keep people in the conspiracy. But most of all, to make people the conspiracy. Because if they could teach you to hate, if they could teach you to go against your brother and sister based on the illusions of separation, who needs the government doing martial law? Got your bunch of hordes of white people fighting each other in the street, saying subhuman things about each other, yet not being called racist. Yet not being called racist, yet kind of almost acting as if they are racist. And some people sometimes will be like, yeah, I really don't like white people. I really blah, blah, blah. And you're like, why do you say that? Why do you act like that? Why are you following the illusions of separation? Or why do you hate America? You know, it was Fetzer, James Fetzer. I was trying to tell him, I think the whole plot was to put China at the head of the New World Order and make the U.S. do the fault for 911. He said, yeah, the U.S. is behind it all. I mean, there are people literally in our own movement, people that we bumped up across, that'll be like, yeah, go U.S. Or fall of the U.S., go China, Russia. And then you got to wonder who's brainwashed and who's being paid money. Some of the individuals are a little bit more than brainwashed, and that's what's terrifying. Some of these individuals, some of us may have talked to at one point or another, without realizing that we put our entire lives in danger. And I think that through coincidence that I've been very close accidentally, or people have contacted me that have been not what they seem to be. Certainly, I've seen a demonic possession collectively take over a lot of my peers in the alternative media to where, it's like that expression, like, your own mother wouldn't even recognize you. Like, I used to actually view people like Alex Jones, the brother of mine in spirit. I thought we were all like serving God and the higher forces. And I was schooled. I was schooled. And never before have I come across Alex Jones critics that were also way deep early on in promoting the old Alex Jones. They're able to clearly articulate the difference and not just go like Jesse Spots, Alex Jones is Bill Hicks, Alex Jones is Bill Hicks, and basically put his own turd in his own punch bowl of content where I can't even touch that stuff now at the point where it's like, dude, why do you do those things? Why do people hold on to these ridiculous theories that actually send us nowhere and slander the dead? And doing it with no remorse. So it's like, yeah, these people don't know what a government shutdown is. Because let's get back to the main item. You have like these women that they hire with their tits literally popping out of their shirt. They're straight out of college that have no competency skills. Again, there was an attempt that I made to find an outlet to just talk about things. So you're not so you're not so distracted by what's happening with the real Alex, not the reporter journalist Alex, super spiritual I Ching Dao. Oh, everything's going to be positive. We're going to be coming light today, folks. We're going to be Buddhas. But no, I can't do that. I can only share the authentic Alex answer. You can take it or you can leave it, but this is what it is. And so that needs to be really clarified. And I also realized, though, that on a monetary level, I've hurt myself and have alienated those that would join Patreon for just being real. And I've been faced with this type of, you can continue being real, but you'll continue losing people as you're real by not entertaining them. That's honestly what I feel from a lot of people, not all of you. But there is just the nature of human psychology wanting to be entertained and wanting to be told certain things, even within a niche, or for things to stay a certain way, not for the menu to change too abruptly. You know, and what if I just started wearing a dress, and started talking like Gene Simmons, or when we were talking about the exercise guy, or Kiss? What if I just dressed up like one of the Kiss members? Some of you would be like, "Fuck this shit, dude. I thought you were somebody else," and you would be gone, and that would be normal. You're gonna be like, "Whoa, dude, why is Alex Hanser wearing a tutu? Why is Alex Hanser making out with the stripper, talking about bitches and hoes and bitches?" You would be alienated. The things that I'm doing now are in line with what I've always done. And there are people that don't realize that. They don't know what an independent is. Someone who's not a libtard and not a right-wing lunatic. They've never been exposed to it. They've never even heard the voice of someone whose genetics are from the land of the bomb. They don't know how to do it. Is this good? Is this bad? Is he putting a spell on us? And they might, get superstitious about it. Like that old man in Poltergeist 2. You got an Indian in there, but I'm going to save you. And it feels like, sometimes when I've talked to you about elements of my real life, that you've been alienated and that you felt so attacked when all I've done is just try to express this is the truth. This is what the things that I've spoken of and my openness has led to. People calling me crazy and other things that I've had to take into consideration. Potential dangers I may have put myself in by being so open with you. Because the friendship and community element never came in as pillars, as Underground Railroad support structures if I ever needed it. I don't have it. No one's there. Maybe I can run up to an old man up the street. Who knows? But it seems to be more on the creator than with the audience. But I think if you're support on Patreon, let's see, for there to be the type of logistical support that I feel that I need to really take on the titans of this world, I need more than what I have now. And I feel that I've been blessed to have a certain amount of time. But the way that I look at the future long term, more violence, more people waking up, hearing voices, being directed by electronics, TI related, and they will be in search of their targets. And that's the TIs will become the targeters in some cases when the activation goes live. So they keep masking and adding subliminals. People keep hearing like buzzes and oscillations. People are in the left-right paradigm. People are born of their own psychosis, thinking the neighbors are. There's implants to the consciousness that these people, even those that think they're psychic, aren't even aware of, or they could be blind to what's happening to others. They could be like, "Oh yeah, I'm aware there's kind of a conspiracy, New World Order. Yeah, oh, I'm totally aware," and they may be totally clueless to what's actually going on, or how negative entities, spirits, are using thought forms that are part of larger white supremacist or hateful, that can even be hate groups that are organized towards whites. I mean, real ones, not people that are critical of racism, because you actually devalue criticism of racism to whites when you call any criticism of racism coming from whites racist. When you or others apply that logic, which is false, it works against someone defending the innocent white people from being demonized as devil people, to be frank. So when people are criticizing real acts of racism, step back, snowflake, unless you got something to be defensive of. What, you want to deny there's millions of people that have been wiped off the face of the earth? You want to deny there's been like a fake Sharia law invasion movement? To literally infect people's minds to the point where 10 years ago I had faith in having allies in this nation based on my resume of activism. Today, I realize why I'm alone. Today, I realize why I'm in danger. Today, I realize why the audience has not provided even an underground railroad. Today, I understand how the illusions of separation are king. Even if people are tapping into my every word on video, listening to the AA truth, the illusions of separation, unfortunately, in this world of flesh, would still be king, even if there would be some support. And this would be the truth. And we would be separated like the Tower of Babel. And I would look at this also as a spiritual thing, including the fact that I haven't become fairly large in the alternative media. It's almost as if I'm speaking with a small group of disciples, including those that at the present moment believe that they are the haters. Hello, dislike, shout out in the house, dislike, dislike, dislike. It's like the Chappelle Show and the Haters Club. Beautiful clip. You can find it on YouTube. But let's get back to the government waste, because you have all this talk about the government shutdown isn't necessarily related to raising the debt ceiling. This has been previous government shutdown agendas. This one's been about funding the border and who's going to pay for it. But again, you have people that are acting in certain ways each and every day that's changing the dynamics of the game, when it's going to shut down or when it's not going to shut down. And ultimately, it's about the psychology of what it does to people that are being conditioned to constantly be afraid, or those that are actually being reduced to poverty level, for that to be part of a conditioning process because of whatever third world conditions are being planned for us. And you really don't know what's going on. China and Russia together could be controlling our current president like I believe they did the last several. And if I believe that they controlled Bush and Obama, you better believe, sunshine, sweetheart, sweet cakes, that I believe that Donald Trump is also their bitch. He's the one that gets down on the knees. And don't you forget it. But right now, there's been a program, and I'm sure China and Russia are laughing. Teach the American people to be arrogant. Teach them to be boastful. Teach them to be bullies. Teach them to single people out and go, there he is, get him out, get him out. There he is, get him out, get him out. And the left and the right both do that. The left goes, there he is, conspiracy theorist on YouTube. Fuck them. They're not with us. Get him out, get him out. Censor him, get him out, treat him all like Alex Jones. And then you have Donald Trump on the other side, and then you wonder why I'm alone. You literally have a brainwashing of both the left and the right, and you have people on the left and the right that are denying that it's a by-side type of isolation, type of exile to those of us that are real independents. You know, the older man that I saw earlier said, you should run for office, and maybe if I want to basically gamble with my life, maybe I should run for office locally. Yeah, that'll alert the radical right of the Midwestern states. Oh my God, first Rashid, the Democrat, was elected. Now this this answering mofo is trying to wake people up. And you see, the reason I don't say the name of the devil, and I'm being metaphoric, there's a certain agency in one of the next towns over that I would say is involved in malpractice, that I would say is involved in money laundering. And so they'll take the tax dollars and they'll get themselves a token black woman, and they'll get themselves a Barbie doll, again with her hips in the tight clothing, literally with the perfume, gonna drop her hair over me as I'm filling out an application, get a whiff of that beauty scent. And then it's like, okay, now we're just going to kind of look at you like, okay, well, these things you need to kind of express a sense of isolation within the community. Here's what we can do for you. Here's a slice of pizza. Instead, let's just look at you in a strange way and lift our eyebrows up and maybe look down at you like you're crazy, because all you're doing is communicating to another human being, looking them in the eyes. So I have looked into the eyes of people that are paid money to deal with people that go through crisis. And I said, you know what? I want to be, and I don't have the money for a life coach. I want to be a better YouTuber. I want to cater to you. Are you entertained? I don't want to tell you my heart's broke. Oh, my, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to stand up, do 10 videos a day. We're going to get the AdSense up. It's like, I can't be that fake. I can't act like this is some shit or that I'm high on life when I'm feeling down. So right now, right, the truth is completely being revealed at this point regarding how low I felt. Not to the point of, but to the point of, hey, I really feel like I'm at this point that talking about it on YouTube seems bad. And people take it the wrong way, as if they're being attacked. Wow, you snowflake. Okay, is there another outlet, a church? And I went that route, went to several churches. Went out to eat one day, talked about reincarnation, and I believe, they thought that was weird. And I was schooled multiple times that in some of these places in rural conservative America, even urban left, they are so in their dumbed down zombie apocalypse that being confronted with someone of intelligence, they're offended by. And my mind has a hard time wrapping around the idea that if I give advice and say, hey, listen, I know I didn't go to school for all these things, but I read the paper that you all of a sudden were seeing like all of a sudden people are off themselves at record numbers. I have some insight. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a geophysicist. I'm not a geologist, right? But I think the cosmic rays, the solar minimum, the serotonin levels, the homelessness, the wars, you have a combination of factors that can contribute to people losing their shit. Please take me with some level of seriousness, like a friend. We don't have to date, we don't have to kiss you, hottie chick. But could you put your ego aside and maybe just hear Max? I want to maybe vent in a healthy manner. Maybe I need to go to city council. Recommend I start talking to them. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't have much faith in this government, but I'm ready to talk to the congressmen and women of Denver, Colorado, because what I've seen regarding statewide government waste has horrified me. But it's taken me a while to get into this stage of things. They're straight up laundering money and hiring people that don't have a certain level of confidence because they have a body that a bunch of people want to screw. Even some women want to throw down some dollars. Ever been to a strip club in Portland? Saw the chicks there too. It's not like with dudes. I mean, I guess there are some dudes that might be straight that like to see sausages bouncing up and down. But I don't understand that psychology. I don't see how you could be hetero and be into like seeing a naked dude. That's it's kind of gross. But with a woman, as a woman, ooh, and especially a white woman, ooh, even higher, and it's like elevated to this goddess level. And so when I talk about white woman supremacy, I'm not trying to hold down a white woman that's trying to raise up and be treated fairly. But see, there's a lot of counterfeit arguments in feminism, and it's really about a certain facade, and some things haven't changed since the days of the public display of KKK behavior from the Democrats in some cases. We even hear Alex Jones talk about it. It's on both sides. There's a history of the KKK on both sides. Let's be. And there's a whole lie about freeing the slaves and the Civil War and what all that was about. How free is someone if they're being used to fight wars to begin with and be told, yeah, you got to fight for your freedom this way? Well, what if the whole thing's being controlled from the other side? There's a lot of lies about history and a lot of lies about minority rights, what even equality is. There's a lot of things that have been forced down your throat to make you feel guilty. A lot of weird terms, affirmative action, other things that have made people feel left out and discriminated against themselves. And that's not right either. So you literally have like a prison planet for a society. A lot of people don't understand how a lot of people are being held back. And this includes some whites in the sense that the children tomorrow are going to grow up with more of a direct sense of white guilt based on not so much the past, what's happening right now. Think beyond your ego, sexual body part, sweetheart. Think 100 years in the future. It's actually apparently going to take hundreds of years in the future for people to realize that they've killed millions of people overseas. And maybe that was a little bit wrong. Maybe that was a little bit wrong. Get myself heart voice on. It's been years since I think I met someone in person that vocalized to me, oh, they get it. What's been happening is wrong. People just don't respond to it. You're like, Alex, it's about you when you talk about the things that entertain us and don't challenge our belief systems. How is that support? And what can I do about being the realist Alex Answer that I am without being worried about the snowflakes? And how you might go with you. Oh, I'm going to pull my support now from you, Alex. You spoke the truth. You went too far this time. I'm going to pull. I'm going to pull. And there's been waves of people that have kind of played these little games. It's like, whoa, actually, if it comes down to it, right? Pull. Pull, baby, pull. I'm going to keep speaking the truth. If it comes down to it, I got to wash dishes full time and do a video rant once a week. Hell, it seems like I was surely putting out a lot of truth when I was getting paid from a job. People would ask me, well, how much money you make doing your cable access thing? Like stupid Portlanders that don't understand status. I'd be like, nothing. They'd be like, oh, you don't make nothing from them. You look nice in the graphics. Yeah, it's about the knowledge, dude. It's not about whether I get paid for it or not. But again, that's why the sexual experiences that I had were centralized in a few months and a few years of, for whatever reason, peaking out, having the best guests, having a lot of things. There was a lot of peak cable access activity, quality programs, interviews that I was conducting in that 2006-7 range, all the way up until 2011. And then the season changed, and I was on my way out the door. But there was something about me tapping into the zeitgeist. And the sea of women more into swallowing sexual fluids than actually getting close to one's heart. Put your head on my shoulder. I mean, on my shoulder, not forget it. And it would really be crazy. My mom really freaked me out one time back in the day when we actually would talk. Maybe one day again in the future. I say so. But she's like, now, Alex, don't let a woman swallow your seed. I'm thinking, what the fuck? Don't tell that to you. You don't ever, did your parents ever give you, yeah? But then years later, I'm like, holy shit, she was right. Oh my God. Oh, that, start doing some math, start doing some dates. And I told you about, the adultery thing and the girl that went to the gym, the bad luck that followed. I was like, oh, man, I'm doing some math. I'm like, oh, 7 years bad luck. Literally, I was seeing like almost numerology of the bad luck that followed reptilian Patricia shit. The girl I was hanging out with for a little bit, then went with the man that, the soldier. Nuts. Now that I'm done with Alex answering, now it's time for a member of the U.S. Armed Forces. Now that is a change. I mean, what is that? Like drinking fine wine and then drinking like a bush? I mean, let's just get real. And then smashing that bush over your head, right? As he probably slapped around a few times when he wasn't texting her 100 times in a single day going, where are you, bitch? Where are you, bitch? But in this fallen world, sometimes that would be the thing in this monkey Babylonian zombie apocalypse with sexy forms of life running around, creatures on two legs, that in some cases would prefer the one that smacked them and forced them into slavery, as opposed to being attracted to the men of the world that philosophically want to free them from generations of slavery. What kind of a world do we really live in? You know the truth. You know exactly the truth. And you know whether or not something has to change within your own life to actually be a true conscious human being. But as long as this government is throwing money at people that are making like $60,000 a year, and those people have the power to use their gendered racial supremacy to throw people away and go, yeah, even though we're being paid like basically like 15 times what she'll make in a year, like we're just here to animate big government on the state level and show our titties and be like, we're women's rights, feminism. Yeah, we've been so held back by men. Now we've like replaced decent good men that might actually have skills because we're basically a silhouette of a fuck toy. And when you begin to start to see reality as it is and all the various silhouettes of the fuck toys that have no basic competency in mental health, social services, or anything of that nature, then you realize who's really on welfare in this country and who's really independent. And so a true, fair government shutdown, baby, cannot happen without people being laid off that are basically doing nothing for the people that are actually suffering, but doing something only for themselves and their salary, only something to improve their supervisor and their supervisor's supervisor, and all the way up the chain of big government that creates all these, oh, we care so much about these people. We're creating so much social services while recommending drugs to people with normal emotions, people that are suffering, right? This system doesn't even show its ability to hire the most efficient. So you have like this massive waste. And then people that feel like they've been discarded by society somehow, some way, which may have caused the stress to begin with, could then therefore be exposed, though, to the real version of it locally. As people literally have that real life entitlement that does exist to say, yeah, you know what, you're annoying. I'm just going to like ignore you. But bye. Then there are some people that get involved in certain elements of the system because they're breaking up families. They're getting involved in the Native American tribes. They're freeing the Native women from domestic violence. Well, maybe in some cases, maybe in some other cases, some of these statewide institutions are driving people from their land. Also have certain organizations. I said we won't name the devil. Beetlejuice, There's certain organizations that run mental health. They run septic systems. They run it all. They are superior. And it's literally a superiority government complex. Donald Trump shut down the government. Donald Trump's holding your vagina and your penis hostage and that of your little kitties. Along with Nancy Pelosi, she's going to see the troops and stomp in the face of the Middle East. Nancy Trump was against the Donald Trump Middle East agenda. Get real. Two sides of the same coin. So in a real government shutdown, by the way, it'd be like a little EBT, or rather solar event. So we have a solar event, by the way, that got rid of EBT. People would be forced to grow their own food. If governments were to collapse, heaven forbid, Christopher Green can't shoot his little Bitcoin camel into the needle to go through heaven because, you can't put like a camel through the, or something. So this is the whole idea of Bitcoin, transfer your freaking money straight to hell. And maybe that's what it's all about. Because after all, right, these people are on a highway to hell. Dun, dun, and they're running with the devil. That's like if you're going to run with the devil, okay, if you're going to collect for the big banks, if you're going to collect that human energy and human souls for the archons, there's a cost. There's a cost. Sure. It's free today, but there's a cost when you take out that inflated soda that looked really nice on the showroom floor, and then you sign at the dotted line. I'll read what's in the fine print later. Who cares if it's $2,000? They're offering to sell it to me for $9 a month, and it looks like something a lady would like, or my wife. Somebody is going to buy something they don't need to get something from someone that they don't really need, but they're a slave regardless to their desires. Because people are slaves to their desires, and men and women, right? Almost like, oh yeah, oh she's beautiful, or maybe they will really desire to see, like, forget what's happening in reality with race relations. Just put in a token minority in a position of authority so that institution can never be challenged. Can never be accused of being discriminatory. Just put the key individual token minorities and women in certain places, and then it gets seen that it's preferring these women or minority women working with white women as a greater sea of men hit the streets. So I'm all for women's rights and a real sense of equality, but that includes various ethnicities. And not just this idea of some people being above others and having their own little, oh, I want equality, so I'm going to come up and come up here. Well, if you want to be equal and we want to have equality, we also have to have recognition of other people whose lives matter. It's not just certain haughty chicks' lives matter and should be put into certain positions of the welfare state, because that's what it is if you have no math skills, if you have no basic personal skills, if you don't believe in fairness, and you're just there to push papers for $70,000 a year. These people that are paid way more, they'll know more money, they'll make more money in 1 year than some of us will in 10 years, especially somebody like me who's off $300 a month. Special thank you to people like Jared that maybe will tip $5 a video. If you like it, go to alexanswer.tv and tip $5 a video. Join him. Join others. People like David Smith that tipped $20 just the other day, $50 about a month ago or a couple of months ago, which was really critical with dealing with certain things here in the winter and buying fuel, buying propane again as I live off the grid using solar panels. So in conclusion, is the government really shut down? Are there other elements of government and salaries and jobs that probably should be eliminated before some of these callous individuals with their superiority complexes cause more suicides than prevent them? That's kind of my beef with how I view even local statewide government waste.